to be here today and in the month of June. We've been celebrating Juneteenth forever, but to have my brothers and sisters and etc. realizing, realizing the cost of Juneteenth. We want to speak about the cost of the oil in the alabaster box, but we're going to teach and help enlarge everybody's territory with wisdom about Juneteenth. And to do that, one of my daughters is here today with me. Daughter thinks she's honored. I am so honored to have my daughter sitting on my left. Honey Bell-Bey, Cuyahoga County poet laureate. And I'm going to present to you, as they say in church, and introduce to others, my daughter, Honey Bell-Bey.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It is such an honor to be with you. And it's an honor when you call me daughter, you mean it.
Absolutely.
Some people use words and they just throw them around because they're casual. When you say you love me, I know it. I feel it. I believe it. And I thank God for you. I pray for you often.
Thank you.
You're a missing piece to a puzzle in my life, and God gave you me, and I'm and vice versa. God gave me you, and I'm so grateful for the season. God is doing some miraculous things, so I'm just gonna jump right in it.
Jump in it, though.
In this season of Juneteenth, I'm doing a lot of speaking and performing. There's performances all over the city where people have been getting ready to celebrate Juneteenth. So the question becomes, what is Juneteenth? I have a performance tomorrow. There's performances all week, all over the city. Everyone's really from Wait Over Wednesday to churches, to community centers, to schools. But for me, I don't jump on many bandwagons. I am who I am. So I've been celebrating Juneteenth and pieces like Milana Karenga's Kwanzaa my entire life, and taking the principles from it. So if I can't take the principles, I'm not going to wear the red, black, and green and not understand what it means. I'm not going to do that. For Kwanzaa, if I can't take the 7 pieces of the Nguzo Saba and string them through my whole life, then I'm not going to celebrate it. If I can't take the concept of Juneteenth and be completely free, then I'm not going to celebrate that. My question would be to you all, what are the things in your life that make you unfree? So this Juneteenth, if you want to celebrate Juneteenth, we're free, we're free. If this is about freedom, what are the things that keep you in bondage? Let me come down somebody's street unintentionally. So if you are abusing a substance and you wake up and you think about it and you go to bed and you can't think about it, you're not free. You're a slave to that substance. Don't get mad at me, somebody. If you're in a relationship that you should not be in, but it keeps you in bondage, then you too are not free. So Juneteenth should not be about let's go have a picnic with people and say that we're free. How many times have you taken your child to a museum or opened a book like Carter G. Woodson's book or W.E.B. Du Bois, books that are staples, Lady Gilmore, staples for our community and who we are. At every single Juneteenth I'm giving away copies of Black Boy. I'm giving away copies of The Souls of Black Folks. I'm giving away several copies of these books by the dozens. Why? Just those specific books. Because you can't celebrate Juneteenth and not promote reading in your family. How many times have you said, instead of us taking the trip to Florida, this year we're going to take a trip to, in honor of Juneteenth, we're going over to the Charles H. Wright Museum in Detroit that has the slave ship, and you have to walk through the middle passage, and when you feel the boat rocking and you hear the cries of the little babies and you see the bodies stacked upon bodies in this wax format, and you have to close your eyes and try to creep through that space. How many times have you done that in honor of Juneteenth? So if you want to do Juneteenth, all I'm simply saying is make it more than a holiday.
Please do.
Because if you're not, other than that, we just got gifted with another 4th of July, just a time to barbecue. What is that? Nothing. So it has to be about the lessons past the moment. And that's where I'm at right now. How do you take those lessons past the moment? So I do have one magazine that I wanted to show you that deals with that. This is some magazines and pieces that I keep I don't know if I'm a poet, an educator, a preacher, a historian. I don't know. I mean, God has gifted me in all these different ways, and I'm so grateful for it. But this particular magazine is from the year 1956, and it's all about what we are celebrating right now, which is Juneteenth. So the pictures in this magazine are phenomenal. Goes over a complete slave auction. The pictures go all the way back from the ports of Africa to where we are right now. So some of these pictures, Lady Gilmore, I don't even take this magazine out of the plastic too much because I wanted to preserve it, but I wanted to bring it and share it with you as you can see the actual pictures. And some of the articles in it are how the Negroes came to slavery in America, and it's a phenomenal pictorial piece all the way from the ports of Africa. Some of the things that you see in this magazine, and I'm always teaching along my way, I want to drop little nuggets, are pictures on the slave ship. And I try to be careful with it because it's such an old magazine, and bodies upon bodies stacked on top of each other with urine streaming down on one another, with humans defecating on one another. This is the strength. Why do I say all this, Lady Gilmore? This is the strength within our DNA. This is how strong we are to have survived this Middle Passage experience. How dare we live life now and not become all that God has intended us to be? So if you're listening now, either live or on the replay, my question to you, or my proposition to you, would be to simply, if in this lifetime you have not done it yet, I challenge you to make that voyage to Africa. On my trips to Senegal or Ghana, the first experience I had, they locked us in a cave. And in that same cave that my grandmother's grandmother was in, you could see the urine stained green, the limestone green from all the piles of urine of adults stayed in one cave, and then they showed us the child's cave, the actual cuffs that still remain, where they tied humans together and they defecated on top of each other, waiting for the boats to come through the porthole. We walked all the way to the end of the water, and the story is that the sharks still follow that same path to this day, remembering how many bodies were thrown over. Middle Passage experience. Mm-hmm. So in that cave, I remember Dr. Whitaker coming and saying, "Do you want out of here?" And of course, my young self was like, "Yes, please. I want out of here." This was that first trip, was probably 6 or 7 years ago. And he said, "No, your ancestors could not get out of here. They had to endure for you to be the you that you are." And he shut the door. I was like, what in the world? And the panic me couldn't panic. I had to really have an experience with God in that moment. I had to really focus, honey, you are okay. Because I'm surrounded by people touching me. So I did not want to panic because I'm in this very small, tiny cell space with dozens of people piled at the same time, having the same type of experience, and there is no air. And you could imagine then you would have had the stench of one another in there for days upon days upon days, waiting for the ship to come in and get them. So after he finally let us out, and others went to visit some of the other caves, I stayed in that cave and I was singing. I was singing, because I had an experience with God, thanking him for the strength of my grandmother, because if they had not had the strength, I would have been thrown overboard, still a seed within them. There would be no me. So I was singing in that small little cave, "Soon I will be done." And somebody videotaped this. "The troubles of this world, I'm going home to live with my God. Soon I will be done." And just the notion that they had to have that type of strength, not speaking the language, not eating the food, not knowing where they're going. So you asked me why I celebrate Juneteenth? Just told you the story why I celebrate Juneteenth. Because I stood in the caves of ancestors who stood for me. How dare I not stand? They stood for me. Ooh, Lord Jesus. They didn't just stand for me. They stood for me and they survived.
Yes, they
They
did.
stood for me and they survived. How dare I not? How dare you not survive? How dare you not survive? You're going to survive. And somebody listening, you may have to tell yourself that, oh, I'm going to survive. It's in my DNA.
That's
DNA,
it.
survival is in my DNA.
That's
Failure
it.
is not, I have to survive. And people can label it, Lady Gilmore, or call it what they want. This is just what my survival looks like. That's all.
Talk.
It's survival.
Amen. Amen. Daughter, as you were talking, I remember we had a conversation one time about Joseph's coat.
Oh,
Can you
yes.
take me back?
It kind of even reminds me, I'm glad you brought that up, of the experiences I'm going through right now. And even the technical kind of suit I have on today of many colors. Recently, I have an announcement of something that I've been blessed with. And that is the key to the city and a street named in my honor. Now, when I first told just a colleague, because it's only the people close to you that can hurt you, I'll tell you how I linked this kind of to Joseph. They just call me everything but a child of God. Everything. Do you think you deserve that over this person? They named out other people in the city who were working hard. And I answered him and I said, oh, no, I think this person deserves this. I think every person deserves what God intended for them. But what does any of that have to do with me? When God has a plan for your life, no man, no woman, no demon in hell can stop that. How I relate that to Joseph, when you think about to get an announcement at 45 years old, they're not just going to have this street naming. They want to make it a festival because they know how I love children. So they want to make sure it's a petting zoo and a game truck and a bouncy house and a DJ. The councilwoman is Stephanie House is donating that, and all these other pieces because I'm family. When I think of every pothole or every well experience, I wanted to tell the young man who had so much venom in him, buddy, you don't know the wells that I've been in. But instead of doing that, because I could have responded and returned his venom for venom, what I said to him was, sir, I just have to live my legacy. And since awards are being given to me non-posthumously, that means that I have a time to impact them while I still have breath. What is it that you are doing with the breath that you have? Each and every one of us have a legacy that we're supposed to live. None of us were put here on this earth, Lady Gilmore, just to be born, to procreate, and die. No, that's not it. What were you intended before God put you in your mother's womb? And this is what I wanted to tell the young man with all of his venom. You don't understand. This is like a Joseph experience for me, sir, that you are the one impacting it. See, Joseph, he was just a young boy, really. He was just 17, around 17, and they put him in a cave. And while he was in the bottom of the cave crying and screaming, brothers, help me, brothers. His brothers were sitting at the top. They're all older. These are grown men sitting at the top, eating, having a meal, laughing, playing. And I always relate that to youth. How many of us, we hear the cries of youth far off in the well, and we keep eating. We keep having a good time. We keep going about our mighty way because it's easier for us to be with ourselves and our colleagues than to get dirty going down in the well. But Joseph sat there without what put him in the well. They had taken his coat, drug it all through animal blood or some goofiness like that to trick their father. All he had was the memory of what he had. So you might think that you lost something. You lost that marriage. You lost that job. You lost that money. You better hold on to the memory of what God gave you, because better is coming on the other side. If you would have told me in the midst of some of my storms, even 3 months ago, hold on, Bell-Bey, because God is going to put your name further. And in fact, anytime that you have cried about your name, because my name, and I don't have any shame, has been changed 3 times legally before I became Honey around the age of 8. To look now and to think sometimes of the pain associated with those changes, that God would take that name and he cemented. So that on the same street when I rode by it last night, that there's littered with trash and violence and beer bottle memorials, all of that on the street. God is saying, don't worry, honey, because everywhere that your name goes, You carry me, and my blood is going to drip right in that. And guess what? I'm going to make sure in the midst of all of this bitterness, sweetness is going to drip there too. Why does sweetness drip there? Because my name alone is honey. So every place where there's darkness, the name alone brings light. Every place where there's bitterness and gun violence on the corner, 3 men have died on that street. God said, let me change it. I'm going to change the whole atmosphere just by changing your name. Can you handle it? I can handle it, God. I can handle it. And anybody who you have issue with it, you can't put your light under a bush because darkness got issue with the light. Light travels at 186,000 miles per second. You can't contend with that if you wanted to. Before you even think about it, before you blink, light already takes over the darkness in every situation. So I'm grateful to God, not because of me, but because I get to carry others with me on this journey. And listen, and I'm alive to see it, Lady Gilmore.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm alive to see it. Most importantly, I'm already a community workaholic. I already give everything I have. And I don't care if it costs my sleep, my eating, I give it all. I leave nothing on the playing field. Nothing. I put it all out there. So now I get an opportunity to live up to what other people think I am. And I get to do it while I'm alive. And that's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do.
What a blessing. I was sitting here thinking, daughter, as close as you and Sugar is, well, you're twins. And I think you the oldest twin?
I am.
The oldest. I'm just sitting here thinking, I call her Professor Sugar because, you know, when Sugar opens her mouth, the wisdom come out. What did Sugar say when you told her about the street?
When I told Sugar about the street, I said, because I'm always want to make sure that Sugar, who's disabled, lives vicariously through me. So all of my experiences are her experiences, and I remind myself not to forget that because she's so gentle and Honey is so busy. So what that means, I don't often stop. And she's like, what is wrong with you? But I told her, Sugar, I'm going to ask them to name the street Honey and Sugar Way instead of Honey Bell-Bey Way. And Sugar said, no. You do enough for a community. You do enough for me. Honey, this is for you. Accept it. Take it. It was as if Sugar was canceling anything else that I was thinking, and I was thinking a lot. Like, nah, if this one coworker said that to you, just back away from it all. But Sugar canceled all that, and she canceled it. Sugar speaks so matter-of-factly. She drops her nuggets, and she stepped back like, okay, you ready? Let's go. And she said, no, honey, this is for you. You need to take this. This is yours. It's not mine. And how beautiful is that? She's such a beautiful soul, and she's not heavy. So she's excited. She's very excited. She's just asking me questions like, okay, what is it going to be like? She did ask me, she did ask me the other day what the key to the city opened, if it really opened something, if there was going to be a key and a door. Like, Sugar, no, it's not going to open anything. But in her mind, she said, well, it's got to open something. And sitting here right now, she's right. Yeah. She's absolutely right. If I have a key to the city, what is it that you intend to open that's already closed? Sugar is right. She said it more than once. She says, got to open something. You'll find it one day. You'll find what it opens. I was like, Sugar, you think I'm really going to be going around opening? This is the same girl who, when I found and got custody of her, was living in these abandoned houses. So it all makes sense. The things that when she was on the street living and I was searching in these abandoned houses for her, for God to redeem my life and redeem the time in such a way that I'm going to take over one of these streets. And I do mean a complete takeover. So there's going to be no, you think you're going to litter and trash on the street with my name, have all these beer memorials and all this stuff that's going on it right now? No, not at all.
Not at all.
And so I give God glory for the opportunity. I pray that he protects me in the situation because some of it can be a bit risky, a lot risky. But I know that he is a protector.
Yes, ma'am.
I intend, if you are free on that day, it is June the 25th at noon at Superior Elementary School. And we're going to have, which is on Superior and Euclid, and we're going to have food, fun, music, and celebration. I have the Japo, the dance group is coming out. I have the Shaw High School band is coming. So I played in the band all 4 years of high school. So I'm going to be like, there's this movie, The Five Heartbeats. And I think it's Eddie Kane. I think is his name. And he comes out with his old suit. Is there a heart Is there a heart in the house tonight? He's trying to put his old uniform back on. I'm literally going to dust off my old band suit.
Yes.
And I'm going to come to the band like, let me in. I'm kidding, but I am going to put the hat on. I am going to at least wear the hat in honor of Shaw High School.
Wow. Daughter, when you were speaking about the street, of all the different trash and things on it, the Lord brought to mind, remember, it's one of my favorite verses, scriptures, where your feet trod. See, he's placing that street there for a reason. It's to save our babies.
Yes.
To save and destroy, take away all the that's going on that street, because guess what? This is no longer, what's the name of the street?
Lambert.
This is no longer Lambert. This is Honey Bell-Bey walkway or whatever. I don't
Honey
remember.
Bell-Bey Way.
There you go.
Are you going my way?
Are
Yes,
you going
I'm
my
going
way?
The Honey Bell-Bey Way.
There you go, daughter. And Professor Honey put it in perspective for us all to understand. And it's going to make a difference.
Yes.
I feel it in my heart. It's going to make a difference. And you feel it because your whole continence has just changed.
And I feel and I won't call it weight, but I will call it weight. I feel the weight of the journey. I do. I feel it spiritually. I feel it physically. I feel it. And I've been saying it for about a year, that God was calling me into a new place, and I'd be prepared to step into that place and that way. I used to tell you that,
Yes,
that God,
you did.
I felt it, and I knew he was calling me. To hear teachers say, nothing like you has ever come out of this school. Teachers, and it's a whole lot of greatness that's come out of this school. Judges, lawyers, just a lot of great people. But to hear them say, honey, you're our hope. Wow.
Yes.
But guess what? Let me say this to somebody who's waiting on elevation. Get busy. I was already working. Clearly.
Already.
I was already giving scholarships out of my own money, lots of them. Book bags, school supplies, arts program. I was just busy being me. So you sitting praying, what's next, God? How do I go to the next level? Look back at what God told you and get busy being you. The you that he already called and told you. God already told me what to do and who I was. So now it's very easy when God says, you're going to revival and you're going to do arts all over Accra in Ghana. Are you ready to go, honey? Let's go. And so, yes, God's like, okay, we're going to do this street. And when you get done, I'm releasing you to get back on the airplane, get back in those villages, then come back and hit not just Ohio, hit the United States. Are you ready, honey? And so I say, yes, God, you have chosen the right one. And then I will in September start seminary and just truly dedicate my life, this next piece of my life, to who God has called me to be. As I go on that journey, I always enjoy, and I think I have time. Do I have time for one more thing? I always enjoy picking up some things while I'm there. Because I think you told me you're not going with me over there to Ghana, and that's okay. So while I'm there on my journey, I always like to get, and I'll show you, some marvelous fabrics. And I brought some of these because there is nothing like, since we're talking about being in Africa and watching the men mostly make. I watched this piece of fabric being made on the looms in what's called the Kinti village.
Yes.
And all of these are Adinkra symbols, some of my favorite that are on this. So imagine by foot, if you can see this, and I hope you can, the screen may not give it justice because there are gold flakes all throughout this beautiful tapestry.
Beautiful.
And this was done in Ghana the last time I was there.
Wow.
So I wanted to show you this marvelous piece,
beautiful.
which is a story. So this actual piece, you can read it. We don't have time to read it, but if we could, I would read each piece and tell you what each piece meant. So that's one. And then, as a gift to the Queen, Lady Gilmore over here, I would like her to pick some of these beautiful fabrics. She's probably like, this is on air. This is happening on air. In the name of Juneteenth, you can see the official stamping that these came directly. I went straight to the market to where the women were making and processing these fabrics.
Oh, my goodness.
And since she's always so beautiful, These amazing. She's like, oh my God, is it Christmas
Oh
came
my
early?
gosh.
This is what Juneteenth is, though.
Oh my
Juneteenth is not just going to these festivals. It's
No.
taking a piece of you, in my case, is real fabric, and blessing someone else
Oh my
with
God.
it. So if Lady Gilmore says I'm not going to Africa, that's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna bring some of my favorite fabrics, and whichever she chooses becomes hers.
Oh, thank you, daughter. Thank
you are
so much.
You are so. Oh my God!
Oh
Look at
my
this.
gosh, look at
This
that.
is beautiful.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is absolutely beautiful.
It's beautiful.
And usually, when you
of
see
this
me dressed in my African couture, at most of my performances or anything major I have to do, my seamstress is in Nigeria. So all of my clothes are handmade in Nigeria and shipped here. I believe in supporting the village, so I want Queen Lady Gilmore to tell us which fabric are you choosing. Uh-oh.
I'm going to do my best. First of all, you know how much I love you.
I love you more, I do.
Oh my gosh, do I
do.
love you. And you've made me so extremely happy. You know I love my fabric. I love representing
You do it
the
well.
motherland.
You do it
the
well.
motherland. I don't know which ones I'm going to pick, but I will pick two.
Okay.
So we will do that.
Which two, Lady Gilmore? Go ahead.
I
We
don't
on the air.
know.
Just pick.
I
Look at
don't
this
know.
one. This is beautiful. And it's waxed.
Yes.
It's already waxed, which is a process with the fabric. Some are waxed, some are not. But you can tell authentic African fabric is going to be printed on both sides.
Yes.
And
Yes.
some you don't wash like ever. These are not the ones that you don't wash. You can wash these, but there's even a process to properly wash them.
Yes.
Which ones you picking? Go ahead. You got
I don't know. You have to tell us about Juneteenth. We have 2 minutes left.
No fabric. Lady Gilmore gonna make this hard on me. I'll pick her fabric.
Yeah,
then.
you pick it out. Though.
Okay. So if you're not busy, there are Juneteenth festivals literally all over the city. You type in Juneteenth Cleveland, they're gonna come up. There's Wait Over Wednesdays at 5:30 on June 15th. I'll be performing there. There's one at Stella Walsh Rec Center on June 17th. I'm gonna have some young people perform instead of me there. There's Cleveland Humidops one on June 20th, that Monday at 12 o'clock. There's so many. So just do a little research. And then, of course, if you're free, join me on June 25th at Superior Elementary School as we officially cut the ribbon for Honey Bell-Bey Way.
Amen, amen. And also June 19th, June 18th, the American Cultural Gardens. We will be celebrating Juneteenth. We will have a parade, and our mayor will be leading the parade. Thank you so very much, daughter. There's no words that I can say, but I'm just going to say two. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I love you.
I
So
love you
that's
more.
5. Thank you so very much. Stay tuned always for Juneteenth. We're going to talk later because I want to do a series throughout the whole year.
Yeah, let's
Thank
go.
you. Peace.
Peace.